Welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. My name is George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I hope you are having an amazing day today. I want to start you out with the quote of the day from the Daily Mastermind mobile app. If you haven't downloaded that on iTunes or Android Marketplace, I highly recommend you do that. The quotes and meditations and all the access to all of the Daily Mastermind content is on there. It's all free, and I think it's something that can help you quite a bit. But the quote of the day today is by Tony Robbins, and it's personal power is the ability to take action. I love that because a lot of us try to think of where we get our power, our energy, and things like that, but it is simply the ability to take action. So with that said, I want to talk to you today about something that I think is really important. I've noticed something lately that I want to address. And the advice and the topic and the stuff I want to talk to you about today is how to stop looking at the scoreboard. Stop looking at the scoreboard. You see, many of you gauge your success, and a lot of us do this, by looking at the results in your life rather than focusing on the quality and quantity of the work that you do every day. Your happiness, your fulfillment, even your satisfaction in life is based on the scoreboard that you keep referring to in your life. And I'm definitely one to suggest tracking and accountability, but not when it affects your self-confidence, your self-esteem, and even the level of happiness that you have in your life. You see, we put these metrics on our life, these scoreboards that we try to compare to other people as well as where we thought we should be or could be or would be. But you have to learn to have a vision and focus on the present. Your vision in the future, but focus on your effectiveness in the present and doing your best job that you can in the moment, because that's all you really have. You have to realize one other thing, and that is how you do anything is how you do everything. I see examples every day of entrepreneurs that are driving their activities based on a scoreboard and metrics and KPIs in their business in one area of their life, but they're letting so many other things in their life slide. They're trying to measure their success and happiness with a scoreboard, but how they're doing things in their personal life and their relationships and their communication and their interpersonal skills are horrible. I was at the gym just earlier today, and I look at people that want to work out real hard, but they don't want to pick up after themselves, and they're leaving, stuff around. And, this is so important that how you do anything is how you do everything. And this is why I want to talk today about stopping the looking and referring at the scoreboard. I'm going to give you some feedback on what I've learned over time, but one of the best sources I've had on this topic is by John Wooden. He wrote a book called Wooden on Leadership. And this is something that I tell you, I love this book because it really overhauls leadership. You're going to learn that in order to be successful, you need to be a leader. And in order to make influence and impact on the world, you have to have leadership skills. And there's no better example of this than John Wooden. Let me explain for those of you who don't know who John Wooden is. John Wooden was an American basketball player. He's a head coach, player, at the University of California, UCLA, and he was nicknamed the Wizard of Westwood. He won 10 NCAA national championships in a 12-year period as their head coach, including a record 7 in a row. Now, no other team has won more than 4 in a row in this division, right? But within that period, his team also won a record 88 consecutive games. But the way he taught his players, the way he coached and things like that, he had all these lessons that he put into this book. But one of the key topics I want to talk to you about is he would say, don't look at the scoreboard. Now, he gives us a lot of lessons, but in the book, he talks about a couple of rules to lead by. And he gives these rules. There's 3 rules to lead by in the book. And one is to identify your team goals and then file them away. What he was saying is create a focus so that you know where you're going, but then hyper-focus on the present moment, because your goals and your vision is in the future, and you can't be focused on that and executing. So your activity and your commitment to execution and growth doesn't exist in the future. It exists in the present. So identify your goals and then file them away. And then the second rule he had was, give full respect to each competitor. Give full respect to each competitor. Now, what he was trying to say is respect all, but fear none. Don't change your game plan for competitors in your life or your business just because you fear or you feel like you have to change. Just, once again, execute the best you can in the present and just give respect to the competitors. But the third rule, which is the one that I want to get into, is long-term success requires short-term focus. This is the key that I think is going to help you with the struggles and challenges that you have right now. He says, don't look at the scoreboard. The key is to focus on your daily improvement and activities, not tomorrow, not next week, right now, today. Now, I want to read you a short note that was in his book, and it was a comment that was published by one of his past players, Dave Myers, who was a two-time national champion with Wooden. And I think it gives an excellent example of how Wooden taught, and it shows you through his coaching and leadership the perspective that someone had with him that I'd like you to adopt. And I want you to pay really attention to the details on this. It's on page 217 in his book. So it goes like this. Win, win, win. No, no, no. I retired from the pros when I was 26 after being drafted by Los Angeles as part of a trade that sent me to Milwaukee. On the first day of practice in the pros, I think I heard the F word 150 times. It was quite a change from Coach Wooden, but that wasn't the only change, just the most inconsequential one. As a pro, absolutely nothing else mattered but winning. If you missed a shot or made a mistake, you were made to feel so bad about it because all eyes were on the scoreboard. Winning was all that mattered and all anybody talked about. We got to win this game. We won that game. How do we win the next game? Win, win, win. He goes on to say, Coach Wooden didn't talk about winning ever. His message was to give the game the best you've got. That's the goal. He would tell us, do that and you should be happy. If enough of you do that, our team will be a success. I think you need to really listen to that. If you do your best enough times, you'll be successful. He teaches this, he believes this, and he taught me to believe this. Winning is not mentioned ever. Only the effort, the preparation, doing what it takes to bring out our best in practice and games. Let winning take care of itself. So many of us, I'm going to digress for a second, so many of us are so focused on winning, we're not doing the activity we need to win. Whereas if you are overemphasizing the actions that you need to take, winning will take care of itself. So he goes on to say, when I was a senior playing forward at UCLA, none of the experts really thought we'd do much. The Walton gang, Bill Walton, Keith Wilkes, and others, had just graduated after winning 2 national champions and extending a streak that got us to 88 straight victories before a loss to Notre Dame. I was the only returning starter. Coach went to work with us. Fundamentals, drills, teamwork, self-sacrifice. Play hard. Don't get down. Wait for your chance. Try to improve every day. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Never a single word about winning. We won the national championship that year. At the time, I didn't quite see it, but his behavior was basically the pyramid of success. Hard work, energy, enthusiasm, self-control, and the rest of it. That's him. And he taught it by being himself. In fact, I kind of thought of him as a professor. When I interviewed with him while I was in high school at Sonora, California, I remembered his office at UCLA was full of books, memorabilia, papers, lots of stuff. It seemed like an English professor's office. On the wall, he had pictures of his old coaches. There was a large drawing of the Pyramid of Success next to them. And before practice, he'd often be standing there, walking out on the court. How's your mother, David? How have you called her? You over that cold gym? How's the math class coming? He knew us as people. We could tell that he cared. And you could tell that he really knew how to teach, just like a professor. And in a certain way, he was a professor. What he taught was how to win, and he did it without ever mentioning winning. And that's the point that I want to make to you. I think sometimes, especially when we're having a tough time, we focus so much on winning, so much on the scoreboard, social media, so much on comparing to others, that we forget that the only thing that's going to get us where we need to be is our execution in the moment, our true impact. And this, my friends, is the true recipe for success. When you learn to have a clear vision and then move forward in a way that executes, you're going to have success. The bottom line is too many of us are letting the scoreboard get us down in life. You're allowing the past and the future visions and thoughts affect your mindset, your attitudes, and as a result, you're less effective in the present. Be more present. I encourage you to have that vision, but to set it aside and then execute and focus entirely on the grind and on results and on moving forward and progressing and improving. Then when you periodically refer back to your scoreboard and you really reflect and evaluate and hold yourself accountable like I recommend you do, you'll know that you left it all on the field, that you gave it 100%, and I promise you that if you do that in the moment, you're going to grow, you're going to improve, you're going to move closer and closer to success. This is the recipe for success, my friends. I think that the recipe for success is also the recipe you're going to have to make true impact on the world. And so I hope that you'll take that advice from Coach Wooden. Stop looking at the scoreboard, start looking at the present, and I hope that's something that'll help you to execute and create more of the life that you were meant to live. Once again, this is George Wright III. I look forward to talking with you again tomorrow.